So like I said, this is 20.3c. This does become a 0 today. One thing to note, make sure that you're listening. One thing to note is that when it comes to the goal for today, there's 2 of them, right? Meaning that on Friday, 2 days from today, both of these will become a 0. Okay, so I wouldn't be looking at like, oh, it's just 1 and it's block day. I've been looking at the future and the fact that Friday, when it isn't block day, there's 2 of them that become a 0. So you really want to make sure that you're focused today. This problem, it says the height of a football after it has been kicked from the top of the hill can be modeled by the equation h equals that equation or that expression where h is the height of the football in feet, t is the time in seconds. We want to know how long the football is in the air. All the problems that you see in 20.3c, what you're going to be doing is setting that expression that they give you equal to 0. So in this case, I'll be setting 2 times negative 2 minus 4t times 2t minus 5 equal to 0. All of a sudden, this becomes a 20.3a problem. What's different about 20.3c versus 20.3a is that there's words involved in it. It's a word problem. But you just take the important stuff out, in this case, that equation, and we solve it. One thing to note when you're solving things like this is that only the things that involve t are what's set equal to 0. This 2 here, not important. You can totally ignore it. It's not important at all. But everything that's in these parentheses involves a t, so I'm going to set those equal to 0. One of these isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. Let's solve them both, though. It says here, to solve, well, we're going to find out how long it's in the air, so I'm going to add 2 for this one. That's negative 4t equals positive 2. And then I'm going to divide by negative 4. This says t equals, well, 2 divided by negative 4 is negative 0.5. That one right there seems kind of funny, right? Imagine talking about time in the negative. Can we say that there's a negative amount of time here? No, right? It asks how long the football is in the air. I'm not going to say negative half a second. So logically, this one here doesn't make any sense. Let's look at the other one, though. Add 5. That's a 5. 2t equals positive 5 then. Divide by 2. This one will be positive. And 5 divided by 2, well, I could express it as a fraction like this, or I could say that's 2.5 seconds. That makes sense. It's a good question. I haven't seen. The question was, do I put it as a decimal or do I put it as a fraction? I'd imagine that I will give you credit either way. So if it marks it wrong and you put in 2.5, okay, I would give you credit for it. But if it's like a rounding, it's 1/3, I would leave it as 1/3 versus 0.33333 because you're going to round at some point. Okay, so if there's an improper fraction or a fraction that doesn't simplify to a decimal, definitely leave it as a fraction. All right, that's it. That's 20.3c.